Welcome to the Pleasure Program. We are two sex therapists, and we are about to react to a Reddit post regarding someone's sex life.
You have no idea what this post is going to be, right?
Total surprise.
All right. It starts with, I'm a MILF in my husband's eyes, and I'm uncomfortable with this new turn on. I, 37-year-old female, and my husband, 39-year-old male, had our first child end of last year. While I was pregnant, he was thrilled. Trying for pregnancy was very fun and exciting for him. He loved the idea of making me a mom. It really got him going. I wasn't thrilled with this turn on, but let him have it. He refused to have sex while I was pregnant, but now that we are several months post baby, I'm struggling with being intimate again, but he is being patient. The few times we tried, he has actually mentioned our child in bed, as in, quote, X is our child and you are their mom, and that's so hot, end quote. I told him I didn't like that, and he seems respectful. I'm the problem here, I think. How does one accept this new turn on for him? How do I lean into this? I don't like it. He keeps pushing me to have another right away. I'm not ready, and we pretty much don't have sex right now because I'm struggling so much. Any advice on how to get past this?
Wow, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I heard correctly. He refused to have sex when she was pregnant,
Right.
and now
He,
that, okay,
yeah, very enthusiastic, trying to get pregnant, thrilled to get pregnant, but not having sex while pregnant, and now wanting to have sex again. Very excited for her to be a MILF.
okay. Wow. Well, he seems really integrated in making the connection between his wife becoming. I mean, it's a wonderful thing in the sense that sometimes we see the opposite.
Yeah.
Sometimes, once a woman becomes a mother, that a male partner can kind of start to see them only as this nurturing maternal figure and kind of lose the eroticism that they attach to their wives.
Yeah.
So this is interesting in that he really swung the other way. He was like, I'm loving this role. I'm loving the mom role. I'm loving this
Yeah.
MILF dynamic. And so in some ways that's kind of fun and interesting. He might be taking it a little bit too far. Like he wants to like hurry up and make her pregnant again. Like how old's their baby? They just had a baby
Several months.
only several months old.
Yep.
I mean, think about what is happening in this phase of life for this woman. Just a few
Yeah.
months ago, her body went through massive transformations between being pregnant, giving birth, recovering from that, now having a newborn you're responsible for. We don't know if she's breastfeeding or not. That's
Right.
a lot on your body, and you're sleep deprived. You're up likely at night, several times a night. So, not the sexiest time in your life. Likely, you're not probably not feeling the sexiest. So he just might be way off the mark.
Right.
Like he's just loving this role she's in and loving that she's the mother of his child, and that is just very exciting to him. But
Right.
I gotta wonder, like, where's the reality for him? Like, are you here in reality? Because in reality, there's a lot going on. You've got a baby. Like,
I know.
everyone's a little tired, and so I guess I'm just wondering, like, yeah, what this experience is like for him,
Mm.
and are they aligned here? Is he seeing her as she is right now? Because she
Right.
might not be feeling wildly sexy.
No, so she mentioned in her post that she's struggling so much and they're not having sex and he's trying to be patient. She doesn't give a whole lot of detail about that, but I wanted to normalize like this, like you said, this new phase of life, this transition. It's actually really common
Mm-hmm.
for women and mothers to struggle with sex after childbirth, and it could be because of sexual dysfunction, right? Because of some sort of birth trauma or tearing
Mm-hmm.
or a hormonal thing going on that's
Mm-hmm.
creating vaginal dryness that can be very uncomfortable. So there could be sexual dysfunction there. There could be exhaustion, right? More stress
Mm-hmm.
from the exhaustion, more cortisol. We've talked about in our like penis problems videos how
Mm-hmm.
cortisol and desire and libido, they don't mix very well,
Right,
right?
right.
So she might be having low desire and sexual dysfunction. She might be struggling with body image, as you said, right? She's pregnant, she gave birth. A lot of people can struggle with that relationship with their body. So it's really, really normal and common to struggle with sex after this. It's feeling weird for her that he's finding her to be a MILF, right? Like he's really into this. I think it's endearing because I think he's just acknowledging the closeness of them,
Mm,
right? It's like, oh, we're so close. We created this baby. This is our child. You're their mother. Like, he's just so into that connectedness from them.
mm.
It's really special, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that like his um, newfound excitement is a bad thing. It just seems like they're misaligned. Like they're kind of on different pages, which is also normal and so common in this phase. And so, as Esther Perel would say, you know, he's maybe the keeper of the flame right now, or he's the one that has more of the ability to tap into his sexuality and feel aroused and feel excited, and she's struggling with that. And so I think to help her get there, he's got to meet her a little bit more with where she's at.
Yeah.
So if she's like, gosh, this is a lot, like you're kind of coming on very strong, and I'm almost feeling like I can't live up to this like hyped up MILF image that, you know, he's seeing her as, that maybe he needs to like just slow it down a little bit, roll it back a little bit,
Yeah.
and focus on pleasure, whatever that looks
Yeah.
like right now in their life. If that's cuddling, if it's holding hands, if it's giving massages, if it's eating some yummy food together and watching Netflix, like just focus on connecting and meeting each other where you can, and focus on that pleasure. And it's okay, give it some time too. Some things just
Yeah.
need some time. You're in a new transition in life, and um, they sound like there's a lot of hope that they'll sort of come together.
So I wanted to touch a little bit on the MILF kink or the MILF
Of
fantasy in
course you
general
do,
because,
Victoria.
well, I feel like so many people that clicked on this video want to know more about that. I'm curious.
Mm.
Let us know in the comments if that's why you clicked on this video because you saw MILF
Uh-huh.
in the title.
Uh-huh.
And so let's talk about the MILF fantasy a little bit.
Okay.
There is an individual, a research fellow. He runs a podcast, Sex and Psychology. Justin Lay Miller, I think is how you pronounce it. And he wrote a whole book on Tell Me What You Want and does a lot of research on fantasy.
Mm.
And he did this big research study and he found that like 88% of the men in that research study had a MILF fantasy. And doing more research into that, it looks like there's a couple reasons why the MILF fantasy is so popular.
Okay.
One is it allows men to be submissive, right? In culture, men are expected to be dominant, and when they're thinking about this MILF fantasy, usually MILFs are depicted, at least in porn, to be very dominant. They know what they want. The men get to be submissive. So
Mm.
they get to play out this more submissive role, which might be really relieving to them. So that's one aspect. Justin also found that these men tend to have an anxious attachment with this like fear of being rejected. And again, MILF knows what she wants, right?
Mm.
So you don't have to put yourself out there. She's basically taking you, right? Like you don't have to do the courting or anything like that. You don't have to put yourself at risk of being rejected, which is fascinating.
Mm. That is interesting.
And also, he found that these individuals really prioritize pleasing their partner. They want to please. And there's an association with MILFs being older, have a sense and knowledge of what gives them pleasure and what they want, and they're able to direct their partner in order to give it to them. So that aligns with these men as well.
So this could potentially help this woman understand her husband maybe a little bit better about where his mind might be at, like seeing her as a powerful woman who knows what she wants, and he gets to just kind of relinquish some of that control and be more submissive and not worry about rejection potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that
Or
interesting?
maybe it could just be the connection, but just to normalize that the MILF kink is
Mm-hmm.
not all that uncommon, right? It's
Hmm.
like your husband's not a weirdo, right? Like it's
Right.
it's a little bit more common than you may realize. But it may really be that connection with her.
Yeah, bonding over this shared experience of creating this baby together and just
Yeah.
being really excited about this new phase of life. And it was
Yeah.
interesting because the way a MILF is depicted, sort of that caricature of this
Yeah,
like eroticized mom who knows what she wants, is maybe not how this woman's feeling right now. So I think that's
exactly.
why it's like he's seeing something that might not really be there right now. So trying to
Right.
get more on the same page and understand your partner is going to be the key to getting closer together and being able to reconnect sexually. A question for the viewers: does the research and their findings align with your interests? Or if you're interested in the MILF kink fantasy, does that seem to align with you? Let
Mhm.
us know.